Hello guys and welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls Prepare to Die. I'm Kulikan Dragoon, and in the last episode we went back to the Undead Asylum and we managed to get ourselves a couple of extra items that we'll be using, one of which is our awesome looking crest shield here. And we found the large ember in the depths, and we've come back here to Andre to give that ember to him.
Why, that's a fine ember you have there. I could smith some mighty weapons with one of those. Why not lend it to me?
It is always a good idea to give embers to smiths.
Magnificent! You won't be disappointed. I can hardly wait to get started.
And now we can modify it, and you can see here what we can do. We can modify our Zweihander from +5 to +6. We could turn it into a raw Zweihander, which would give it more damage but decrease our rank bonus. We could turn it into a divine from that divine one we found a while back. Oops. But the one we want to do is we do want to turn it into a Zweihander +6. We have now ascended our Zweihander, so it will show up back here. That requires twin companion. We can actually, because we have another large titan asher, we can turn it into a +7 while we are here.
Don't get yourself neither of...
So now what we get is our Zweihander is now at a +7 with a 221 base damage and a CD ranking, which gives us an additional 90. So we aren't doing too bad overall. There's one thing I do want to check on first before we leave. I don't think it does anything. I can't get it now anyway. I didn't expect to, but I wanted to see here. Yeah, okay, all that does is increase my stability.
I'll be seeing you there.
I just wanted to check to see if that actually would improve my damage reduction percentages. It might at later levels, but you know what? I don't really think it does in this game. It does in Dark Souls 2, but not so much for this game. If you want to make improvements like that, you're much better at improving your armor, but even then, most players, or a lot of players I know, don't actually bother going around to improve their armor. They don't consider it really worth it. I will be improving my armor, but I focus on improving my weapons first before I try to improve my armor. But for right now, it's going to take me a couple minutes to get back down to the depths, so I will actually cut until we are back in the depths where we were before, and I will see you there, guys. Alright guys, I know I told you I'd bring you back in the depths, but we're going to make a quick piss off here because Lautrec is back. He is now sitting down here at the Firelink Shrine staring at the Firekeeper creepily.
Hello there. I have your reward. Please, accept it.
And of course, he gives us a sunlight medal.
I am grateful to you for freeing me. Not enough for you? Well, let's not be greedy now.
I'm trying to remember. You again?
You again. What is it? Our futures are murky. Let's not be too friendly now.
Alright, so he doesn't say anything else. I did think at one point he said that he'll give you something else. Just not right now. Just here, repair our armor and stuff. And you actually, so you've gotten a sunlight medal from Lautrec. That was your reward for freeing him, but he is still a bastard. We'll see why later. He won't do anything just yet, but that doesn't mean that'll stop him. I'm going to try and run past a couple of these guys. Maybe I don't have to fight them, but more than likely, they're just going to follow me. You can kind of see we're even doing more damage now because our Zweihander has been improved even farther. That is the awesomeness of having this Zweihander +7. You can take weapons all the way up to +15 in this game if you choose just to stay with the normal path, which is what I'll be doing with this Zweihander. In order to get them to +15, though, we will need to find another ember that I'm not actually fully sure on exactly where it is right now, guys. I'll have to figure that out. I know where a couple of the embers are, but the main embers that I really wanted to get was, number one was the Divine Ember that we got from defeating the Moonlight Butterfly, and of course the Large Ember and the... I don't even remember what the name of it is right now. I am having a hard time today. But basically those are the embers I really want to get. There are a couple of other embers that could be useful for different players depending on what you want. There are quite a few different ways to... Oh, and I got a humanity from him. There are quite a few different ways to get a... to better your weapons. You've already seen a couple: Divine, Normal, and Raw. There are also several other ways like Crystal. So, I think in the end, there's at least, I think, 10 or 12 different, I think like 10 ways to improve it. I might be wrong on that, guys. But, yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can improve your weapons overall. And once your weapons improve, each improvement has its own strengths and weaknesses. Like I said before, Divine will create your weapons that also give you a Faith rank increase, but at the downside is, of course, your Strength and Dexterity go down. Divine also has another special little property, which is why we're going to be making use of it later. I don't know where that dog went. I didn't think that was a non-respawning dog. And there's that dog down there, but we're not going to go down there, because once we're down there, we can't get to where we want to, which is actually over here, guys. We want to drop down here, and be careful, because if I turn that way, you can see there is another butcher over here. And if you're not careful, this one will kill you. There's actually a spot. You could see this one hiding out. And now this one's down too, so now we have killed both of the butchers. This one gives us a sack, which is basically just the hat they've been wearing. But we can go up here and meet another NPC. You can see him way over there in the corner. Alright, now we've busted him out.
Thank you. I would have been supper without you. Being in the line. I shut it. Thank you. Thank you dearly. I am Luexius. With a great soul. I will not forget my
Alright, so he also will eventually go back to Firelink Shrine and stay there for a little while. I am trying to remember, guys, if there's something else in this room I can get. He is our first Pyromancer teacher. With all the magics in the game, there actually are 2 teachers for them. You've already seen our first Miracle, our first Sorcery, and now our first Pyromancy teachers. So there'll be other ones that, in terms for Sorcery and Miracles, they'll appear just as you continue character storylines. But there's also Pyromancy. Actually, there's a certain requirement you have to meet in order to get your second Pyromancy teacher to appear. And you can see right now I have slowed down, guys. And there's an item over there, and I want to get it. But first, I want to look up, because you can kind of see that blobby thing. If I shoot it, it'll fall down. It is an enemy here. A very annoying enemy, because even with R's great Zweihander, now that I am taking damage from this guy, because I forgot that he would be here. Because I wasn't paying attention to my environment, guys. I took a lot of damage. But now, this one is dead, and it gives us 100 souls. Now we can go over here and pick this up. You can see right now, if I wanted to, I could switch over to my rusted iron ring, and that would allow me to move a little bit easier. But for right now, what I want is to only keep my 2 rings I have, because we're going to have to take on a couple of these guys. They will just drop from the ceiling. as we go through here, so we do have to kind of take them down. They aren't very difficult to defeat, it's just that they are more of an annoyance than anything else. They do give 100 souls. Oh, and yeah, they also drop large Titanite shards, which is good for us, because we just ascended our Zweihander, and now we need large Titanite shards to get our Zweihander up to a +10. You know, swap over to two-hand. It's not going to do much better, but hopefully it'll just kill him just that little bit faster. Used to be able to do this. Hold on. I used to always be able to do the jump attack against these guys. It does a little bit more damage, guys, but I don't really remember how to do it for the original Dark Souls game. Undoubtedly, someone will put it in the comments. So I am just going to keep wailing on these guys. They don't give much when it comes to souls, but you know what? In this game, it's much more of that every soul that you can get is better than not having any souls. And hopefully we can get far enough here that we don't have to worry about being invaded, since we are still human right now. This is a spot where a lot of people do like to do invasions. It is a nice big area for invasions overall. And I just have to hit you very hard. And then we go through this door over here. I think there is a different key that you can use to open it, but you'll find back down here is the bonfire for this area. You can already see there is a summon sign back there. So this is the only bonfire for the depths. I repair my equipment. You always want to make sure your equipment's up to date. Equipment. Yeah, I just want to make sure your equipment is always working. I'm not going to worry about summoning him yet. I'm just going to go ahead and actually, you know what? Before I go, I usually wait to do this, guys. But what I'm going to do now is, because I'm human, I'm going to kindle the bonfire now. In the likelihood that I will probably die somewhere along this game, somewhere along here, and just me being a human, it's more than likely that I will be invaded, and so I'm going to kindle the bonfire now so I don't have to worry about doing it later. And that's the way we have to go down, but actually first, there is another way I'm going. I can just kind of get through here quickly. I don't have to worry about those guys all falling down on top of me. And I'm just going to keep running back. To a little secret that I actually didn't find quite a few, and it took me, oh, I don't even know, maybe my third or fourth time actually playing through in this area before I discovered it completely by accident. I hate fighting these dogs down here because they never seem to be hindered by the water, but we are always hindered by the water. Alright, good, we took the second one down. Hopefully we can hurry up and get out of here. There we go. There's another dog over here. Hopefully we can take them down. Nope. Couldn't take him down there. There we go. Take him down now. We're going to take a drink before we proceed onward. If you remember, we came back over here and there was a butcher over here. We're actually going to break through these, and you kind of notice there's a hole here. And we can just drop down here. Apparently this is his garbage chute. And you notice down there is a giant rat. So we can actually just sit here and pop him full of arrows. So now that rat's down. He gave us 1,000 souls, guys. 1,000. That's quite a bit. For at this point in the game, you can see there's not anyone there. I don't see anything over here. And so I'm going to run around to the other side here. And come here, you little bugger. Get the spider shield. And then we can go ahead and drop down here. The mouse dropped a humanity force. I'm gonna get this. This is the sewer chamber key. And another soul of the nameless soldier. This is a maze, basically, guys, is what's going to end up being. You do have to be careful going through here, because not only are there mines, so we're going to beat that guy down right now before he gets any further, but there are also trapped holes and doors. Oops. Here, in fact, I think there's one just up there. You can kind of see it now. So if you're moving around too fast, you can actually just basically jump right into one of those if somebody has died there. You can see there's another one of these annoying little things over here. Alright, now we've taken that down. The main reason that you want to make sure you could easily avoid most of these areas. There's another trapdoor right in front of me, guys. You can kind of see it there. The main reason why you want to come down here, you can avoid coming down here altogether if you want to, is that guy right there. You can see him. He's trying to get to the door, but he's too big. It's another Chandler. And the reason you want to do him is he's actually overlooking the boss arena. If you don't come down here and kill him, he will actually just stay, and he'll actually empower the boss. I got humanity from something, I can't really tell what, because I have corpses following me. But, as you remember, you guys have kind of seen him there before we faced off against the Bell Gargoyles. They are able to make any enemy nearby more powerful. And down there is actually the boss area, and he will stand up here, and he will shoot down sorceries at us while he actually makes the boss even stronger. So you want to come over here and take him out. I cannot stress that enough. Will be doing some summoning down here, and it is more than likely that we will find another large Titanite shard. It'll be more than likely to find that somebody has not killed him, and that makes the boss himself is not super difficult. But if you don't take out this Chandler, he becomes a very difficult, very annoying boss. So we can go through here. I took a different way around to get to this spot. Usually you just kind of come straight down from the bonfire to get to here. We're not actually done collecting a couple things from this area yet. There are even more things that we can get, as well as taking out these mummies. I don't want to take too much time because there is an NPC invader that we want to be able to continue his story. He will invade a couple of times, actually. I don't remember how many or where exactly he'll do all of his invasions. I do know this is the first one he'll invade at. You come over here. And with his wildfire, I have been poisoned now, guys. And first we can get this, a humanity. And I'm going to take out this last amount. I thought they were all dead, but no. I got another humanity, guys. We're doing great with the concept. But you can kind of see my health is slowly dropping, and that bar down there on my screen, that indicates how much longer the poison is going to affect me. But what I can do is, because I'm right here next to the bonfire already, I'm going to run down here to the bonfire and rest, and that will automatically take care of my poison. There is a way to increase my poison resistance. It would be to actually put points into resistance, but it's not a... most Dark Souls players don't put points into resistance because all resistance does is increase your defense, and every stat increases your defense. So putting points into resistance really is only for doing a poison resist, and there's not a ton of poison resist things in the game, so just kind of like focusing on a couple of other ones, like in our case, since we're focusing on our strength attacks, that's more than enough, and we're of course putting points into endurance, and we're going to be putting points points into vitality. Don't think that I'm just going to leave vitality where it is. I'm going to be getting a lot more vitality points before the end of the game, but for right now, I believe stamina is much more important. Our sword is still doing massive amounts of damage, so worrying about our health is not super problematic. By the time we get to a couple levels farther in the game, then we'll want to worry about, there we go, about that. I really don't know why I came back here, guys. I could have gone the other way around to get to the same spot that I'm going to. Maybe I just like falling down the hole. Maybe that's just it. I just like falling down. So we're just going to go ahead and fall down here again. And then we're going to drop down here. And take a little swig here just to make sure our health is back up. And then you can come over here, and there's actually a little bit of a waterfall going down. But if you come over here to this side and you stay over by the wall, there is a tiny little shortcut that brings you down to this spot right here. This is where you want to end up at as we kind of take down this guy. For a couple reasons. Number one, I'm just gonna make sure he didn't drop anything at any bit. You want to come back up here, this side, because there is a door up here. It can only be opened from the side we are on. But up there is the bonfire, guys. If you go back up there. And so this is a nice little shortcut that you can just kind of take to get to the boss area. We're not actually too far away from the boss now. But we're not going to go to him just yet. We're actually going to go this way and go farther down. Oop, there. We're going to go farther down into these sewers. And we're going to have to be a little bit careful. I don't remember if any mice come popping out of these. I don't think these ones. He should be showing up any second now. Our invader. Yeah, and these guys, you do want to have to worry about these guys. Yeah, Dark Knight Kurt has been. Oop, I need to back up, I need to back up. No, I want to kill you. You want to kill those guys quickly because they'll curse you. Here is our NPC invasion. Because he's an NPC, he's actually very easy to take down. You can kind of see that is Dark Knight Kurt, the Knight of Thorns. So now we have defeated him. And we can retrieve the remaining power of the Dark Spirit. And if you notice, we got 5,938 souls, plus a humanity, and his spiky shield. So we've done, that is actually not a bad job, but that is also, just about any NPC invasions are not really meant to challenge you in any way, shape, or form. They can still be difficult, don't get me wrong there, but they're not super hard. Okay, good, I was tricked. And you can kind of see that statue on the other side there. You'll see it again closer in a second. That's what we're trying to avoid, because that could happen to us. The slaughter of a nameless soldier. There's usually a ring you can get for coming down here. I'm going to try and sneak around to his backside. Yes, kill you all. What these guys do is they will curse you. If they curse you, you are automatically dead. You are sent back to the bonfire, and you are cursed to have half health. And every single time one person dies, you get one of these statues will appear in other servers and other people's games. And so you can see here a couple people have died here. There are a couple more items we want to get. The reason I am not super concerned, the reason I didn't try to go back and actually get the ring that would give me a great resistance to curses, is humanity also gives me a resistance to curses. Right now my curse resist is 96 instead of the usual 20, I believe it is. Alright, those two are dead. There's actually another one behind me, I know that already. Anytime there's fog there, you want to make sure that you are nowhere near that fog. Especially if your curse resist is at the lowest, is at 20, because it will take all of like 3 seconds for you to become cursed and die. And there should still be, yep. at least one more down there. I want to make sure that I don't become cursed. Once you're cursed, it's quite a pain in the rear, actually. Holy shnikes. To become uncursed. I think you're the only one left. Alright. Alright, guys, now we've taken care of all those guys. We don't have to worry about getting cursed anymore. We can go over here and get this ring, the Ring of the Evil Eye. The Ring of the Evil Eye, if I remember correctly, and I'm going to double check it right now. Yep, it absorbs HP from fallen foes. So that's also a very useful ring. But once again, it's not the ring I'm going to be using. We're going to stick with my Hovel's ring and my Wolf's ring for right now. You gotta come up here. You gotta do this right, because there is a trap door down there. Alright, I got it. And then we can get a humanity. And that's everything from down here, guys. And I'm gonna head my way back to the bonfire. Hopefully I won't get invaded on my way back there. I know I've said in the past that there's a certain time after an invasion that you won't get invaded. I don't believe that if you were invaded by an NPC, I don't think there is that time limit. Because it's an NPC invasion. So there's no real reason to have or worry about that. Alright. And down that way is where the boss is, but like I said, I'm going to head back to the bonfire because our episode's getting a little bit long here, guys. We're just going to run back here as fast as we can. Like I said, this is an area where a lot of invasions do have a tendency to happen. So you do kind of have to be a little bit careful when it comes to being human down here, and even me remaining human this long is unusual. And repair all of our things up. Yes, we can level up one more time. Hooray! And actually this time I'm going to put it back into vitality. We've lost a little bit of health because we're no longer using the Tiny Being's ring. And so I also need some more health back. I'm actually not going to be summoning... actually, no, I will. I always like to kind of help out other players, so I will summon Dentrick to my game, and hopefully he'll be able to help me out. Who are you? It's not letting me touch your summon sign while I'm trying to summon the other guy. I don't want to stay here for too long. Alright, Dentrick is now here. And he's using a Zweihander like us. I'm going to try and summon Drosy here as well. Summoning has failed. So we're just going to go ahead and head on out then, guys. This is going to be a long episode, I can already tell. So now I've already taken care of a couple of things that we usually do. So we're just going to be able to head straight towards the boss's room. And there are 2 NPC summons you can do for this boss, if you do so desire. He's going to head on to the next one, I think. Possibly, anyway. Every summon kind of does things a little bit differently from their own kind of desires. So it does become a little bit interesting to kind of see how different players react to different situations. He's going to take care of the mice. And alright, the mice are dead, so now we can go over here. This is the way to the boss room. And we're going to... I don't believe he's up here. I think it's down here. I'm actually not going to go down there just yet. I'm going to come over here and get this. I guess he was up on the next level one. I'm going to get this. And then we're going to head down to the boss room, I guess. He must have been back up one. I'm not going to worry about summoning him. You can summon Solaire and Lautrec for this fight if you want to, but first. But I'm not going to, so we're going to go in here and fight the boss. There's a tiny little... alligator-like creature. Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard. I mean, just a small boss. Not. There is no such thing as a small boss in Dark Souls. If you haven't learned that yet, learn it now. There is no such thing as a small boss. Say hello, everybody, to the gaping dragon. And yes, that is his chest, and yes, that is also his mouth. And hopefully I can get him to do... Here we go. He's actually very, very easy to beat if you know his attacks. One of the main things you do want to try to do, if you can do it, is actually cut off his tail. I'm going to run up here and hit that tail. And he's going to start moving now. I'm going to get hit because I was trying to hit his tail and I didn't get a chance to dodge in time. I'm going to drink. That'll restore both of our healths. That's unusual. Usually when this boss actually does his smashes his mouth down against the ground trying to eat you, he usually then will just start walking forward right away. Come on. Nope, don't focus on him, focus on me. I'm gonna take another drink and restore his health a little bit more, guys. I'm gonna do it again because he can't seem to stay alive. That is part of the thing with the host player, remember, that I'm now in charge of kind of keeping my summons alive. I'm going to take that off so I can actually run. Alright, I barely got out of the way of that. Usually... Alright, there we go. Alright, he's moving now, guys. Whoa. Hello, what the f just happened? Alright, we have lost Dentrick. And we're about to really... Well, we got lucky there, guys. I thought he was going to land on top of me. That was going to hurt like hell. Unfortunately, we lost our Phantom, who was helping us out. We're down to 5 Estus flasks, but hopefully... Come on. Eat me, you son of a monkey. Apparently right now he's just choosing to follow me around all over the place instead of actually trying to eat me. There we go. I thought I was out of the way of that. That's unusual. Usually he just walks forward after he does that. Another drink here. He is being a pain in the rear today, guys. Usually this boss isn't that hard, but whatever reason, he is choosing to break from his normal attack strategy. What the heck? That's right, go for it. Okay, cut off your tail. This is now that I'm working alone, I do have to be a little bit more patient when I'm fighting this boss. Alright, there, finally he did it. Usually that's what he does, he kind of lands down. As long as you're close enough, he'll try to eat you and then start walking forward. It's after he stops walking that you really want to try to go after him. Taken him down quite a bit already all by ourselves. We're gonna actually do something unusual and smack him in the face. Great shoot. Yep, there. Once he stops moving, I'm gonna keep hitting his tail, guys. If I can do enough damage to his tail, then I'll cut it off. It actually becomes a weapon, but the main reason I actually want to remove his tail is because if I can cut his tail off, he can no longer use it as a weapon, and that means I can stand behind him without any real worry that he will try to smack me with it. Come on. His tail is being very, very stubborn today. And he's going to smack down again. His tails are actually quite obvious, guys, from just about all of his attacks. So once you kind of get used to seeing them, then it's not really a huge problem. I'm kind of surprised that his tail hasn't fallen off yet. The number of times I have hit it, I would have thought his tail would have fallen off a long time ago, but apparently he's choosing to be a douche and not give us his tail. And this is one where you just want to run away. This is another note one. I don't know why I'm going to pick this up now. And you can see he just kind of does his little puking aspect here. And because he puked all over the place, you want to make sure you stay out of that. I wasn't close enough to try to hit him in the face again, but Hill's just going to walk right on past me. And I'm going to go for his tail again. Come on already. This is very, very unusual for his tail to not have fallen off by now. Alright, he's going to go for the smash down again. I'm actually not going to hit his face, because now I am just kind of annoyed, and I want that tail. I want that tail to come off, guys. I usually just try to kill a lot of these bosses, but for him, right now, he's just annoying me. I want his tail. So I'm just going to keep smacking away at his tail until he's either dead or that tail is mine. You guys see there, that's what can happen is sometimes if you're standing behind him, if the tail's not there anymore, then obviously whenever he does that, it's really not that big of a concern. He's almost dead, so we'll probably end up killing him here, guys. That was him just swinging his claw at me. Whenever he's just walking around like this, I start getting worried. Right there, nice little jump. I'm gonna roll just to make sure I'm farther out of the way. Alright, now he's done his face plant. Mouth plant? Chest plant? Whatever. Well, now he should roll forward until he hits the wall. Alright. Are you gonna give me your foosing tail or not? No, he did not give me his tail, guys. He did not give me his tail. I did all of that work and I did not get his tail. I feel a little bit gypped, actually. But now we get Twin Humanities, a Homeward Bone, and 25,000 souls. The better part yet is now, because we have defeated the boss, we cannot be invaded here anymore, so we don't have to worry about him. We don't have to worry about invasions down here. And we can actually help other players now, which is what I plan on doing, actually, now. I plan on just kind of doing some summons and helping out, but that will be kind of like add-on with the next episode, because we are already over 30 minutes for this episode. I did not mean for this episode to go this long. So I will see you guys next time whenever I get summoned, if I get summoned, or before we go to Blighttown. So thank you guys for watching, and take care.